Welcome back, familiar, to Northside LDN, and it's come back around the North London derby at a time where both teams need a win. And I've got a special guest. We're going to get into it. We're going to preview the North London derby. That's going to be this Thursday. Without further ado, let's run the trailer and then let's get straight into it. Vamos, caramba. Welcome back, people, to Northside LDN. Listen, we got a special guest. Yeah, a special guest. One of our noisy neighbours, our North London neighbours. We've got Dave here from the Irish Hotspur. How you doing, bro? Thanks for coming on.
No, look, thanks for asking me. I'm absolutely buzzing. Look, these are the best games in football, these derby games. This is what football's all about. The rivalry, the passion, the hatred. Let's get after it, my man. I cannot wait for Thursday.
No, fair enough. I mean, let's get to Spurs first. Let's touch on Spurs. What do you make of Conte coming to your team and kind of picking up a season where Nuno Espirito Santos had you guys going backwards? You guys were looking even worse than when you was under Mourinho, and it looked like that little golden patch you had under Poch was lost. It looked like Harry Kane was on his way out. Things looked like they were unraveling, but it looks like Conte has been able to stabilize the ship. And what do you make of his time so far at Tottenham?
Oh, man, how long have we got? You brought up a lot of issues there. Look, ultimately, it all stems from the owners of the football club, Daniel Levy and Enoch. They just didn't have the football infrastructure in place. Pochettino wanted to rebuild, and we just never stuck with him. We didn't back him, and we ended up sacking him. We rolled the dice and brought in Jose Mourinho. And the reason why I feel like we ended up with Jose Mourinho in the first place, lad, is purely because at the time of Poch's sacking, we were just leaking goals. We couldn't stop it. And look, there's other reasons behind that. Vertonghen was getting on. Alderweireld was getting on. Dyer, Davies, even though they've had good campaigns this season, we're not good enough to come in. Sanchez, so we had a lot of problems. And I believe the reason why we sacked Pochettino and went for Jose Mourinho is because they still believed they had a really good product on the football pitch, and that the only problem was the defence. And so we're getting the best defensive manager in the world, Jose Mourinho. And look, even he couldn't do much with that defence. And again, we didn't back him properly. I know we backed him with 7 players in one window, but the 7 players we brought in were just not at the level that we should be buying in. And they were just not at the level for Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho wants ready-made players. And look, in hindsight, and I was a big backer of Jose. I didn't want to sack him in the first place, lad, to be honest with you. But what Jose Mourinho done is he came in and told some home truths to the fan base about players, and just really let us know and kind of opened a lot of people's eyes to the big problems going on. About look, we always knew we kind of had sort of like a weak mentality in the squad and that, but the caliber of the players, just not doing the instructions, people doing what they want to do. And at the end of the day, Jose Mourinho called a lot of it right. And then we ended up sacking him 6 days before a cup final against Man City, which in my opinion is absolutely absurd. We were still in a hunt for top 4 in a cup final. And the reason why they sacked him at that time was because it was actually cheaper to sack him then than after the cup final. So that's the reason why they sacked Jose Mourinho. If anyone's going to have a chance of beating Man City, is it Ryan Mason or Jose Mourinho? It's Jose Mourinho all day long. So I don't understand why we've done that. We sabotaged ourselves in that cup final. Then we had Mason to the end of the season. But then Nuno came in. And look, I wasn't 100% behind the appointment, but I believe no matter what manager comes in, you should always give them at least a month or two just to see what they're about and see how it goes on before. And I always put my trust in them for the first couple of months. But look, under Nuno, it just became sour. I mean, we spent the first half of the season just trying to create a shot on target. And you players like Kane and Son, that is just not good enough whatsoever. So he had to go. No shots on target. He just had to go. And then we brought in Conte. And things just changed. He just came in. He's brought in a winning mentality. He's brought in belief. He's got a much better performances out the likes of Davies, Matt Doherty up until he got injured, Eric Dyer, and for me, he's just brought us on an incredible run. At the end of the day, with Antonio Conte, there's still going to be ups and downs in our results purely because of the caliber of players we have. And the likes of Dyer and Davies, they will end up costing you goals like they did against Dyer against Brighton, turned his back on a shot and then just got skinned. You know, it's not good enough. Things like that is what ultimately might be the downfall of Tottenham not getting top four this season. But Conte has come in, and especially since January, since we got in Bentancur and Kulusevski, them two boys have completely transformed the way we've played. I was screaming for a ball-playing midfielder in the January transfer window because we were using Harry Winks, and he is just not good enough. He is absolutely useless. He drives me insane. He's the one I hate the most out of this Tottenham squad. And then Bentancur came in, and all of a sudden he just started getting on the ball, playing it forward, getting it into Harry Kane's feet. Because what Winks was doing, Winks was too scared. He was playing it sideways and backways. But what Bentancur started doing is playing it forward. And we went on this incredible run. And all of a sudden, Conte and this team have managed to get us into a top four race when nobody gave us a hope in hell whatsoever. And also Kulusevski coming in. I mean, that guy has been absolutely unbelievable. 21 years of age, the weight of the world on his shoulders coming to Tottenham Hotspur, going up against the likes of Kane and Son, and just fits in there seamlessly. And what we've done is we stacked a guy called Steve Hitchen, who was in charge of bringing in a lot of the players under Pochettino, under Jose Mourinho, and he was just useless at his job. I mean, I went through all of his transfers. The guy spent about 350 million on absolute crap. None of them hit the ground running at Tottenham. Most of them we wanted to sell on already after only being here a year or two. And we've got in Don Paratici. Now, he splits the fan base. A lot of people call him Con, but I call him Don because I just think he's absolutely brilliant. The way he's got in Romero, Kulusevski, Bentancur, this guy can now bring in quality players into Tottenham Hotspur for a quality manager and Antonio Conte to work with. And he's done an absolute magnificent job, Conte, to turn this whole thing around. Because under Nuno, after that 3-0 defeat to Man United, we were ready to write off the season, just ready to grind it out, write it out. Conte has come in and given us hope again and something to fight for coming towards the end of the campaign.
Yeah, no, I mean, would you say now since Conte's come in, it's been the first time since you got rid of Pochettino that the fan base have now got that belief that Spurs can now, you know, compete for major honours, at least be in and amongst it?
Well, I mean, look what he's done with a rag and bone squad, in my opinion. Look, he's come in, he's managed to tie Hugo Lloris down to a new contract when he wasn't going to sign one. He's managed to turn Ben Davies and Eric Dyer and Doherty at the parts of the season, players that just couldn't get any form under Pochettino, really, anything under Jose Mourinho, anything under Nuno. But all of a sudden, he managed to get something out of them, and form a cohesive defence, which no other manager could have done with these guys. You sprinkle Romero in there. I mean, that guy is just unbelievable. We'll get onto him in a while. He is going to absolutely eat up Odegaard on Thursday night. But Romero's come in. And Sessegnon has hit the ground running. A lot of talk about Reguilon, but what Conte has done, and he's completely transformed it. And the biggest problem at Tottenham is just backing the manager with the right players that he wants, rather than bringing in players young, you know, and trying to sell them on for a profit, which has been Tottenham's model. And look, even when we have spent big so down the years, Soldado, Ndombele, players like that, they just have not worked out. Davinson Sanchez, Lo Celso, none of these guys have come in and really worked out. And they've all been like Steve Hitchen signings, and they haven't really been what the managers wanted at Tottenham. And I think what Antonio Conte has done, he's proved to the board, look, we're unbeaten against Liverpool, drew with them twice this season, bet City twice. We're unbeaten against two best teams in Europe, two best teams in the Premier League. And if anyone is coming in and showing that they deserve the money and the backing, it's Antonio Conte. And if you can give him a good summer transfer window this summer, 5-6 players in, let him get rid of some of the shit and the players with poor attitudes, I think this guy can actually challenge for honours. Because if you're going to win cups or you're going to challenge for the Premier League, it's inevitable that you're going to come up against Man City and Liverpool at some stage. And if anyone has the tactics or has proven that he has their number, it's Antonio Conte.
Listen, I agree, man. I agree. And this is why I was fuming when this club allowed a manager of the level of Antonio Conte to go to Tottenham. Because how can, with all due respect, we're a bigger club, and how can we allow our rivals to get a better manager than what we have? I think that's ridiculous. You know, I don't rate Arteta, but I don't think even Arteta's biggest fan can argue that Conte isn't leveled as a manager better than Arteta. And this is why I'm fed up of Arsenal, because I've seen us hold on to Arsene Wenger too long, and we missed out in potentially going for Klopp. At that time, he wasn't at the Premier League yet. We missed out on going for Guardiola. Now, these managers may have turned Arsenal down because the first time that you guys went in for Conte, he rejected you. Yeah, because you have to give these managers a plan and an idea that they can actually buy into and actually, show them you're going to back their plans, which is obviously what you lot did the second time around. You approached Conte and he came. Now, with my club, those two managers, we didn't go in for him. Then we held on to Arsene Wenger too long. Saw that, the last 10 years of Arsene Wenger was failure compared to his first 10 years of winning the league and always been up there competing with Man United. Then we go for Unai Emery because the fan base and the ownership said that getting top 4 ain't good enough. Then Emery, with a team that most of these super Arsenal fans would say was a dead team, he managed to get to a European final, which we ain't been in since 2006. We haven't been to a European final before that. With dead players that the majority of these fans would say they're dead wood and they need to leave the club. And he manages to get 5th. I think he was only a point off of top 4. Yeah. But no, they kick him out because of the way he says good evening, etc., as if that has anything to do with it. Kick him out. This bum of a manager gets the job on the basis of he's next to Pep Guardiola, which I said straight away, I don't want this manager because I've seen the best manager I've ever seen in the Premier League, Sir Alex Ferguson. I've seen 0 of his assistant managers ever come on to become world-class managers. So why do I want Arteta? Anyway, Arteta gets the job, gets 8th and 8th, and all of a sudden, that is a process. And I feel like, well, do these fans have a short-term memory? We got rid of a legend in Wenger, which I wanted gone because we wanted to actually compete for the league. Then we get rid of Emery because he wasn't able to get top 4. How the hell is this fan base able to be swindled in a way that this club say now it's a process at 8th place? And now people are telling me, oh, well, if he gets top 4, then you're in the mud because you never expected to get top 4. I never expected to get top 4 because this manager's got us 8th and 8th. And along that time, he's been given more money than most managers in the league. Arsenal's team, in terms of valuation, money spent on the squad, Liverpool's team's only £60 million more valuable than Arsenal's at the moment. And you look at their squad and what they've bought with their money, and you look at our squad. We've got kids like Hutchinson and Patino on the bench. Arsenal shouldn't have these kids on the bench. Do you know what I'm saying? We're relying on youngsters that are going to be inconsistent because even the great Alex Ferguson said you can't win anything with kids. Pep's already said you can't win anything with kids. But all of a sudden, all these positive fans think that, oh, well, wait till they hit their peak. First of all, I remember when Dele Alli was being lauded up as the next best thing, and he dipped. So players can have a really high projection when they're young, get to a certain age and not be able to actually reach their pinnacle, or some players. Well, we already got it already at Arsenal. We've had Martinelli being linked to Liverpool. We've had Saka being linked to Man City and other clubs. If we don't match their ambition, we will lose them like we lost Fabregas, like we lost Van Persie, like we lost Adebayor, like we lost Nasri, because we weren't matching their ambition. World-class players, and if they do become world-class, they want to play alongside other world-class players. And in a team and a squad and a club that is built to continuously compete to win the title. We ain't been in a title race. Even the year that Leicester, we came second and Leicester won the league. We weren't even in the title race. They comfortably won that league. And I remember the arrogance of this club when Arsene Wenger came out and said, well, there's no quality in the market. No, if he actually was proactive, we could have won the league that season. We could have, if we actually bought in the right areas. So for me, I don't care if Arteta gets top 4. I want him out because he ain't better than Klopp and he ain't better than Guardiola. And some people said, oh, wait till they leave. Well, Klopp's just signed an extension, so that theory is out the window. He weakened our squad. He chucked out Aubameyang and then left us with 2 strikers that the contracts are running down and never was good enough for Arsenal Football Club in the first place. And then when you look, and the last thing I will say is this. People say about youth project, the players that have been saving this guy's ass are all players he didn't bring in. Saka, Arteta never bought him. Martinelli, Arteta never bought him. Nketiah, Arteta never bought him. Aubameyang, that actually won in the FA Cup, Arteta never bought him. Pepe, that actually got us to a Europa League final, which this manager can't even get us into the Europa League Conference League. He never bought him. Do you get what I'm saying? Gabriel's been our best centre-back all season. He wasn't bought by Arteta. This guy is a bum. Then he has the audacity to dash out Guendouzi saying he ain't good enough, yeah. Okay, you go to Marseille,
Right.
even though you're getting into the French team. Then he gets a bum in Lukonga coming in, and the boy ain't ready. Gets Tavares. Tavares, the defender that can't defend. Gets Ben White, another defender that can't defend. All the top gooners are telling me, oh, but look at the way he plays out from the back. I don't rate this guy and I want him sacked right now. Do you think my judgments and my criticisms of Arteta are warranted?
Do you know what? I actually do, to be honest with you. Look, you mentioned Unai Emery. Look at the job he's done at Villarreal, Europa League, and he's gone on and got them to a semi-finals of the Champions League. You look at he needs a cigarette. He's that stressed out. I love it. I absolutely love it. But look, do you know what? I actually do agree with you. I actually think, right, you look at Arsenal this season, went out of the FA Cup early, no European football, playing one game a week. It's actually masking. If he had European football this year, you're looking at another 8. He does not know how to handle having 2-3 games a week. The fact that you have one game a week this week is actually aiding Mikel Arteta right now. And look, I actually think since after a period, do you know what? Arsenal, when they were really good, they had strong, big, physical players. And then, somewhere under Arsene Wenger, that completely changed. And that was his downfall, He brought in a lot of these small technical players, and they could not compete physically. And you could see it happening year in, year out after Arsene Wenger, that Arsenal were losing the physicality in games that they would have won before when they had the big, strong technical players, but big, strong lads, likes of a Vieira. You had an Henry, you had a Nelke, you had Petit. You always had big physical lads in that Arsenal team, and somewhere under Arsene Wenger, that changed. And then you could see the demise happening, really. And it never really stemmed from there. But I thought you should have stuck with Unai Emery, to be honest with you. I thought you should have backed them. But look, with Mikel Arteta, look, we call him Pep's side bitch, Pep's coal man. I was very surprised he got the job, to be honest with you. At a club like Arsenal, I was very surprised he was handed the reins. Look, on an interim basis, you could understand it, but to give him full backing, what did you say? $500 million spent on the squad. I just do not understand what you're doing here. And to be honest with you, if he miss out on top 4 this season, I would sack him because you're in danger of being left behind. Look, Tottenham have Conte, Chelsea have Tuchel, City have Guardiola, Liverpool have Klopp. Arteta is just not on any of their levels in terms of experience, in terms of tactics, in terms of any of that. Arsenal have, look, same as Tottenham this season. Look, if United weren't having the downfall they were having and stuff like that, Tottenham wouldn't even be in the top 4 race right now either. But I see a better vision and a lot quicker route to be able to winning trophies and competing with the likes of Guardiola and Klopp under Antonio Conte than what I would with Mikel Arteta. And look, I wouldn't. If I was an Arsenal fan, I actually wouldn't feel comfortable with them throwing much more money at this guy in the summer. If he misses out on top 4, especially with the position he's in now, he's got to go, and you've got to go and look for a big name to come in here, because these big clubs now, you look at the likes of Tottenham, you look at the likes of City, you look at the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, you look at the likes of Chelsea. Their managers, they all have charisma. They all have the respect of the squad, the people in and around the club, the respect of the press. They all have character. And when you're looking at modern day football, the likes of the managers that could come in and shout and grill players, which I believe you should still be allowed to do, but you're not in this generation. Because you can't do that, you need someone that just has that respect straight away, someone that has that character, someone that has that persona in the press, that people latch onto. You need someone like that now. And Mikel Arteta is just not the guy to bring that club forward.
This is what I mean. And for me, if he finishes 4th, it's a fake 4th, because at the end of the day, you guys, before you got Conte in, your season was falling off a cliff. Man United, we already know the disaster they're in. All our rivals that were a lot stronger last season fell off this season. Plus, this manager only threw away the FA Cup, threw away the Carabao Cup. We wasn't in Europe because he got us out of Europe completely, So it's like this guy to even challenge, even to try and get into the top 4, needs literally 1 game a season, 1 game a week, And being able, the luxury of having one game a week means that we don't have to rotate our squad. We can put our strongest lineup week in, week out, you know? And for me, it's just like, how are these fans not seeing it? A couple of games ago, we were the favourites, comfortably the favourites of top four. Now, this North London derby can spin it all on its head. It's not as black and white anymore. And how is that being able? How's that being done? You know, it's not good enough, bro. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, people are telling me, "Oh, trust the process." I'm saying this guy has been in the job 2.5 years longer than Conte. How can Conte have one January transfer, getting one guy on loan, and then buy one guy, yeah, and all of a sudden he's back in the top four race? How? When this manager's been spending $250 million getting all these players that these people are saying that he needs, and yet he's struggling still to get to the top four. I've seen this manager lose to Unai Emery's team that cost 20-30 mil. Yeah, I've seen him lose to Nottingham Forest that were 10th in the league at the time in the championship. It's not good enough. We lost to Olympiacos. It is not good enough, bro. And for me, it's just like, there is a little bit of progress, but the progress is too slow. And when you're getting rid of certain players, yeah, and then bringing in duds, I mean, Ben White, he's shocking, defensively shocking. And I was saying it when we were winning games, bro. He's rubbish. He can't read the game. He lets players run off of him. He doesn't read. He's not demanding. He's not commanding in the air. He's rubbish. Tavares. Listen, he looks like a 100-meter sprinter. That filo da puta can do a 100-meter sprint and piss off back to Lisbon because I'm done with him. Do you know what I'm saying? Then you're looking at Lokonga. I don't know what he does well. I don't see it. And now I'm seeing players that were back from the Wenger era in El Neni and in Rob Holding outdo the players this manager's got in. And those players aren't good enough. El Nene's not good enough. Why is he looking better than Lokonga? He's not good enough to get us where I want us to be, competing for leagues. You know, Rob Holding ain't good enough. He's a player I want to get rid of. But how is he looking better? How is he a better defender than Ben White? We spent 50 mil. He's our version of Maguire. It ain't good enough. And only the people that haven't seen, yeah, they're not old enough, like me, they're not old enough to remember Arsenal when we was competing for leagues, think that I'm asking too much. I was born in 92. I've seen us win the league in the 90s a few times. I've seen us win doubles. I've seen us be competing. I've seen us, even when we wasn't winning, we were in the title race all the time. And that is what I want. No one has the God-given right to win. But when people are looking at, oh, look at Tottenham, look at Tottenham, look at Tottenham, look at Tottenham. I actually respected Pochettino. You know, I respect, even though I hate your club, I actually respect it. I was like, that is a proper manager. But your owners messed him up and didn't back him. But I had to be a Liverpool supporter for one day in the Champions League final, yeah, because I couldn't stand to see you guys lift the Champions League before us. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's how badly we've fallen. Look at David Moyes' job at West Ham, overachieving. Poch's job at Tottenham, overachieving. Why is it only at Arsenal do we reward failure? This guy is a failure, and yet we're giving him a 3-year contract, even before top four cemented. Because this club is not about winning. This club is about PR. Get Ian Wright out with the merch. Get the merch out. Oh, this, oh, that. I'm sick of it, bro. I'm sick of it.
Do you know what, though, lad? You're not the only club, you know, that rewards failure. You look at the likes of Harry Winks. I mean, what has he done in the Tottenham jersey? He just gets contracts every 2 years. You know, we allowed Dele Alli to stay here 3 years past his prime. You know, you go through the squad. We also reward a hell of a lot of failure. But look, at the end, you're speaking of Champions League final. I mean, what a fall from grace we have had. We were chasing league titles. We were getting to League Cup finals, FA Cup semi-finals. You know, a Champions League final, and Pochettino sat there, and he came out and said, "Look, we need a rebuild, and it's going to be a painful rebuild. In terms of, there's going to be some players that fans love that just have to go, and we have to get new players in and freshen this up." And their idea was to go for an Ndombele when City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United, and other clubs are going for him. Now you ask yourself a question: how does Tottenham end up front runner for Ndombele when all them clubs are going for him? Because all them clubs done their homework and could see the problems coming. They spoke to people within the game, and they were told about his laziness, his attitude, this, that, and the other. And all of a sudden, because we end up front runners in front of these clubs, we think it would be a good PR stunt to bring him in on such colossal money and colossal wages. The likes of a Lo Celso. I mean, you look at, we were going for Bruno Fernandes, and granted, Bruno Fernandes has had a poor season in terms of the heights he reached when he first came in. But at the end of the day, if we had that Bruno Fernandes for a year or two that he was performing at that high level at United instead of Lo Celso, we wouldn't even have been in anywhere near half the mess we have been in the last couple of years. Look, we've thrown a lot of money at just bang average players, players that are coming here with piss poor attitudes, players that are coming here that deluded, thinking they're better than what they are, players that are coming to Tottenham Hotspur that have just not put in what I expect a paid professional to put in that is on colossal money. At the end of the day, they're living every fan's dreams. And they come out and complain about fans having an opinion on them, this, that, and the other, and you should get behind them and back them, this, that, and the other. But some of these players that arrive at these clubs, they don't even support the club. They're there for the money. We're the ones that have to endure the pain if you come here and take the money and just do nothing for our club in terms of on the football pitch. And that's what we've been seeing at Tottenham. But as well, look, as much I keep harping on, as much as Dyer and Davies have had good seasons this season, how are they at Tottenham 8 years? 8 years, man. Honestly, Ben Davies and Dyer are 2 years short of a testimonial. I mean, but the sad thing is, that'll probably sell out. That's the sad thing about it. That will probably sell out. It's just like, I'm one of these people, look, thank you for your service. You're not good enough. Good luck. Get out my club. But unfortunately, in the Tottenham fan base, there's a lot of sentiment towards these guys for moments. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, you're pulling out 2-3 moments out of an 8-year career. You know, come on. And this is why we've got into the mess. But what's been the great equalizer, I think, for us this season has been our last 3 signings under Paratici, Romero, Bentancur, and Kulusevski. And with them 3 signings alone, we've caught up with you guys, plus bringing Antonio Conte. Now, imagine what we can do and how far we can separate the difference between the teams with a good transfer window this season. Look, the reason why you kind of caught up on us is purely because we spent bad money. We were going through a period where we were sacking managers. You were going through a bit of a steady period and you were bringing in players. Now, I heard you mention the likes of Lachonga. Look, where we're at right now, unfortunately, you can't be bringing in players as a project to develop, to work on. You've got to bring them in for the here and now, ready-made players, ready to hit the ground running. Because you look at the likes of City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. That's all they do. And if you want to close the gap on them, you have to start doing the same. You look at United; they will go through a process a bit like ye under Ten Hag, but they will back that manager. They will give him what he wants. If he wants young players, they'll go and get him the best young players in Europe and bring them into that football club. You look at the likes of money that's at Newcastle now. They're another team that are going to spend big this summer. They can easily start closing the gap. You know, and the Wolves, they've got a good manager playing some good stuff. Another couple of signings, they could start closing the gap. West Ham, the same thing. And the thing is that before you used to have top 4 and then after that you'd have the best of the rest. But it's not like that anymore. Even going for top 4 now. And some of these clubs, they're only a couple of signings off of really making a difference. Of really starting to challenge with us. But like with Tottenham now, we have to have a big summer this summer. We have closed the gap on Arsenal with 3 signings and a manager change. Now we need to back this manager and really kick on from here. We really do, because how can you go from a Champions League final to Europa Conference League? It's absolutely unheard of, the demise, you know, and it comes down to our owners. At least your owners are backing your managers and giving them the players they want. Granted, some of them maybe not good enough, like you said. And, you know, Ben Shite, I can't believe you paid 50-odd million for him. I mean, that was absolute extortion. That's crime of the century. That should be up in the high courts, my man. That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you wanted white so bad, go and buy a tube of Colgate. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. But look, our owners now have to invest. All signs are that they are going to invest. And look, I believe they're starting to turn a little bit of a corner, but how far we'll know this summer, because they've got in the right guy in terms of being able to negotiate, in terms of bringing structure in on the football side of the game. Because look, our commercial game is absolutely top notch, but that's not why fans follow Tottenham Hotspur. We follow Tottenham Hotspur because of the football. So they've brought in Paratici to try and get that side right. He's completely ripping down the scouting department, building it back up from scratch. It hasn't been fit for purpose. It's been absolutely dog crap for years. And then you look at We've brought in Conte, and absolute, for me, outside Jurgen Klopp, outside Guardiola, he's the next best man to go and get. We've got him in at the helm now. And by all signs, it does sound like they are going to throw everything at this guy that they have this summer. So we'll wait and see. But this summer's absolutely massive for Tottenham Hotspur. Because if we don't back this guy, we're only going backwards, my man, and we're just spiral down the league. And you'll see how quickly we do it. You've seen how quick we dropped off from the Champions League final to Europa Conference League spot. And that just goes to show what bad management appointments can do, bad spending of money can do, and bad signings can do. That just goes to show how quickly it can spiral. So this summer will be massive for Tottenham Hotspur, massive for Arsenal too, massive for you too.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree, man. I agree. And it's mad how you lot have got yourselves back in this top 4 race, because I don't rate Royale. I don't rate Winks. I don't rate. There's quite a few players at your club I don't rate. Bergwijn is another one. I think he's hot and cold. So it's not like Conte has all his players and everything that he needs to compete. But look at how well he set you lot up against Liverpool. He knew that Mane and Salah, if they have space, they're going to hurt you. You lot made sure you're compact. Yeah. And you made them look quite average. They weren't really great, and that was because of the way that you guys kept, the shape and everything. And I just feel like that is the difference of a world-class manager. Working with what you've got. Now, you're right, you do need to back him. And I was so happy when you didn't back Pochettino, because I felt like that he may have been the manager, if back, to have turned things around for you guys. But, that's in the past now. With Levy, he has got this reputation of sometimes giving out fake promises and not really backing managers when they actually need the backing. Even when you lot got Mourinho, I was thinking, with all due respect, Tottenham is not a historically big club in terms of trophies and stuff. So I was surprised that he went there. Obviously, He was already in the decline. And I felt, right, you guys have got a manager. Yeah, he might not be the best in the world, but he's a manager that at the time I would have thought maybe probably would have overlooked Tottenham as the next job. Give him everything he wants, and you didn't do that. And you didn't do it for Pochettino when he was working miracles with the team that he was given, and hopefully that happens again with you guys and Conte, because I know.
Do you know why though, my man? Because over the last couple of years, certain players that people in and around the club, maybe coaches, owners, thought were actually good enough. Loads of managers a couple of managers come in and yielded more or less the same results out of them. I think the realization is starting to set in that, hang on, these guys are not as good as we thought, and we do have to now, invest. And I think Conte has come in and said that as well. I mean, the guy was ready to walk after the Burnley game. It's just, I can't do this. Some of these players are not good enough. I don't have enough strength in depth, this, that, and the other. And basically, since then, he's more or less been promised with what he wants. So I'm glad he's come in and done that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree, man. I agree. And that's why, for me, for this match on Thursday, North London derby, for me, Arsenal, it is kind of, I can't really call it. I can't say that Tottenham are going to win, because I can't stand your club, I can't stand your club. And I've seen us in worse positions and being able to beat you guys. I mean, form goes out the window. We all know that. Form goes out the window. But our record at White Hart Lane has just been shocking. We do have a better squad, but you have a better manager. And you do actually have a world-class striker. We don't even have a decent striker, in my opinion. Yes, some people may argue, Nketiah, he's hit form.
No, he's not world-class. No, I'm not having that.
That's what I'm saying. He's not good enough. And for me, it just shows the mentality of this fan base now. Now, El Nene starts performing, give him a new contract. Nketiah starts performing. Where have they been for 90% of the season? Now, El Nene I actually think is a decent rotation. But we should be moving on from these players. A lot of these players, we know they're not going to get us in a title race. We need to move on. Nketiah was never good enough. Never good enough. But all of a sudden, a lot of Arsenal fans have short memories. And because he scores against Chelsea, because he scores against Leeds, all of a sudden, best thing since sliced bread. And this is why it's just like a vicious cycle at Arsenal. We don't press the club to do what's needed. And then when we're in the season and the transfer window's shut, then we start seeing all the holes in the team and start seeing how players ain't good enough. But if we would have pressed the club in the transfer window and actually held them to the standard they promised us, which is with tearing down Highbury to come to the Emirates to compete with Bayern Munich, then maybe we will get a result. But this is the easiest fan base to please. They're pleased with crumbs, with nothing. You know what I mean? And for me, bro, I just find it ridiculous. You know, at least before it'd be Aubameyang coming up against Harry Kane. Now we've got Harry Kane coming up against Nketiah. Harry Kane coming up against Lacazette. Leave me out of it.
Lack of threat, we call him. We call him lack of threat.
He's not good enough, bro. He's not good enough. I mean, what is the expectation now? You know, as Tottenham fans, what's the expectation at your club, like as a fan base? What is it, you know, that you guys now want to see? Do you lot feel like you need to get back to where you was under Poch, which is, you know, comfortably in the top 4, or do you want to push past that and actually win stuff? Because you guys ain't won nothing for what? How many years? You ain't won the league for what?
14.
50 years? 60? Well,
yeah, we haven't won a trophy in 14 years, my man. The League Cup, I think it was called Worthington Cup at the time, was the last one we've lifted. It's that long ago. But look, man, there's only one thing we want at Tottenham now, and the fan base is getting restless, and it's trophies. Look, we've got the best stadium in the world, best training complex in the world, one of the best managers in the world, one of the best directors of football in the world. And look, all it's waiting for now is the right players and trophies, and that's all Spurs fans want. Look, there's been massive protests against our owners. You know, shout out to Brian Daigle. He does a lot of the protests, organises a lot of them, you know, and fans are getting restless now. They're getting restless, and this board know that, you know. When Daniel Levy's sitting in the stadium and he's hearing chants of Levy out, which he's never heard from the match day going fans before, you know, that was time for him to change. And I think that's probably given him, Enoch, and everybody else maybe a bit of a kick up the backside. How far? We'll know this summer, but there's only one thing we want, and it's trophies. It's what we've been promised. It's what they talk about. It's what they say they're gearing towards, and that's all we want right now. Look, I'm not one of these where I sit there and celebrate top 4. Look, we get top 4, don't get me wrong, because it's over here, I'll be absolutely buzzing. You know, I probably will rub it in, to be honest with you. But, like, I'm not one of these that are going to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, we have to get top 4. Like, when I first started YouTube, believe it or not, I had to go around to different channels, you know, just tell Spurs fans, top 4 is not a trophy. You know, they were so content with getting top 4. And look, in hindsight, I would be content with it now because we've been a couple of years out of it. But look, man, it's all about the glory. Football's all about winning trophies. You ask the very best players at the very top level in football, you know, do you want to be a one-club man? Do you want to just have a good career? What do you want from your career? And they'll all say, I want to win everything. I want to win trophies. And that's all you want at the end. And that's all every club should aim towards ultimately. Look, even lower clubs, just aim towards getting up to that level and then start plotting a way to start winning trophies. But that should be the aim of anybody in the game. Anything else apart, second is loser. You know, third is specialist in failure. You know what I mean? Fourth is just, look, you're not even on the podium, in my opinion, you know? At the end of the day, anything else but winning trophies is failure. And that's what Tottenham fans want. That's what we crave. That's what
Harry Kane wants.
But Harry Kane's staying now. Harry Kane's staying. Halan going to Man City keeps Harry Kane. Conte coming in keeps Harry Kane happy. You know, and just a bit of backing this summer. Harry Kane will be back firing on all cylinders all season long next season. It's going to be scary.
But and this is something that I brought up before, yeah? I said to Arsenal fans, I said, listen, look at the way Tottenham handled the Harry Kane situation. He was flirting with leaving to Man City. He came on Sky Sports, disrespected your club, the fans, everyone associated with Tottenham, saying he basically wants to win something. Your club ain't going to win him nothing. He wants to go to Man City, yeah? Conte's come in and he's got him firing. Yeah, he might not be the Harry Kane of last season, but he got him back on side. You're not hearing anything about Harry Kane or Harry Kane is disgruntled or nothing. Got him back, focused on the game and focused on, you know, trying to do the best for Tottenham Hotspur. Look at this bum of a manager in Arteta. He has Aubameyang. You know, I mean, he didn't play in the last North London derby because he came training late. Yeah, he came to the match late. Fair enough. I agree with that. Yeah, cool. You take him out the side and you say, listen, you can't be the captain and come into one of our most important games of the season late. Yeah, because I'm going to lose the youngsters. Fair enough. Puts him on the bench. Cool. Then all of a sudden, there's a bit of a disagreement there with timekeeping and whatever. And instead of disciplining him again, oh right, you're off to Barcelona. But bear in mind, we haven't got anybody else that can score the amount of goals that he can, and you're kicked out to Barcelona. Now, when you look at the two situations, Harry Kane is a player that his offense warrants more getting pushed out of his club than Aubameyang turning up late, and he's the one that's getting pushed out. How can Tottenham be able to handle their situation with their striker, but yet this manager can't handle Aubameyang coming to work late. I don't understand it. And that's because the mentality at this club is wrong. I've even said to people, who's better at their job? Aubameyang as a striker or Arteta as a manager? So if anyone needs to leave, this bum needs to leave, not Aubameyang. And now I'm not saying that Aubameyang was amazing this season, but what I'm saying is you need to be able, I haven't seen this manager be able to, get players back on side and get, convince them that this is the right project. Pepe, frozen out the team. Aubameyang, kicked out. Guendouzi, I don't know what happened there. Right, you're off to Marseille. And yet some of these fans think that in the summer we're going to get top players. What top players are coming to Arsenal? Because Darwin Núñez is linked to teams that are actually ready to win. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are going to look and say, well, hold on, Arsenal. You broke the transfer record to get Pepe. You're actually playing in Nketiah, someone from the reserves that came up. He's getting more game time than him. So if I come to Arsenal as a record signing, how am I going to be treated under this manager?
Yeah. No, look, 100%, 100%. But look, with Harry Kane, I think he had a lot more pull because at the time we had Nuno, and if Harry Kane would have left, it probably would have absolutely, Spurs would have capitulated. We would have capitulated. We would have been in massive trouble this season because he's been a huge part of why Conte actually took the job. And he said because he was very impressed that we were able to keep Harry Kane, and he's been a massive part in the transformation of style of play under Conte, and Conte has got him going. But look, I don't agree with Harry Kane on everything. Like, look, this whole team with Gary Neville on Sky Sports need to win to live. I need to leave to win trophies. Well, I mean, he had a League Cup final. He had a Champions League final. He had 2 league run-ins. Just do more. Do more. Some of them finals he never turned up in. So if before you come out and say I want to leave Tottenham to win trophies, think to yourself, have I done enough to win trophies? Now, what he should have said is, I had my chance to win trophies at Tottenham, but since then we've regressed, and I don't see another opportunity to win trophies. That's what he should have said, especially under someone like Nuno. But like since Conte's come in, he's back on board. He's Harry Kane, King of the Lane, best number 10 in world football, best haircut at Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, at the end of the day, the guy's an absolute magician on the ball. He's turned into Kevin De Bruyne and Harry Kane in one. He's absolutely brilliant. Scores goals, assists goals, holds up the ball. What more do you want? He's absolutely unbelievable. But look, for me, it's important that we keep Harry Kane. We've got to try and tie him down to a new contract this summer. He's down to 2 years come this summer. We don't tie him down. We run the risk of bringing it down to 1 year the following summer, and then he's worth half the value of what we would have got for him in the first place. Or we run the risk of him going on a free then the following year, and he can start talking to European clubs that January. So we need to tie him down to a new contract. But I think Conte will do that. But I think what Kane is waiting for, and ultimately what it comes down to, are Tottenham Hotspur going to bring in the players at the level and of quality that will please Harry Kane, to show him that, hang on, we are building something again to go and challenge for trophies. That's what we need to prove to him this summer. That's what we need to prove to Conte in order to get the two of them to sign new contracts. Conte is only here for 18 months. That concerns me a little, but I think we show him a good bit of back and we get Harry Kane tied down to a new contract. I think he stays, and I think we will only be going on an upward trajectory from there, because Conte, what I like about Conte, he'll never settle. Even if we go next season and we just fall short, whatever it may be, he'll never settle. He'll keep demanding more. And he's kind of like a fan in that regard, to be honest with you. And look, it's about time we got managers in at Tottenham Hotspur where their sole aim is to win a game, no matter how, no matter what. You go out there and you win that game. It doesn't matter if you have to stink the place out. It doesn't matter if you have to rough the opposition up. It doesn't matter if you have to go at them full on all cylinders. Conte is here to win at all costs, and it's about time we started employing managers like that rather than project managers and process managers. I mean, if I wanted process, I'd just buy a can of processed peas and have it with my fish and chips.
No, exactly. I mean, let's have a quick look at your last results, your last 3 results, and then I'll get your prediction. So obviously you drew against Liverpool, which I thought was a great performance by you guys, nullifying them. Obviously you won 3-1 against Leicester. You drew to Brentford. So I mean, you're in decent form. Royale is a player that I don't really necessarily rate at Tottenham. Yeah, he had a good game. So your players are coming in with they're on good form. What do you think the score is going to be? What's your prediction for Thursday's game?
Do you know what? And I'm not just saying this just because I'm on an Arsenal channel. I really do believe that we're coming into this hungry. We'll be firing on all cylinders, and I just have this feeling that it'll be a decent enough scoreline to Tottenham Hotspur. Look, we're hurting from that one earlier on in the season at the Emirates. That one came completely unexpected. We were blindsided. No one expected it, and to be 3-0 down at halftime in a North London derby is inexcusable. In any walk of life, in any sort of derby or rivalry, it's just inexcusable. And look, so we're going to come in here hurting. The fact that we're at home, the home side usually wins the North London derby as well. We're also unbeaten in our last 7 home league matches against Arsenal, winning 5 and drawing 2. So I hope to extend that as well. And Harry Kane, he's the top scorer in North London derby history. More than the famous Thierry Henry. With 11 goals in 16 matches. So, look, you've got Son, who's absolutely on fire, heading into it, 2 goals behind Mo Salah for the Golden Boot. And no doubt he'll feel like he can catch him. He'll be on form. Kulusevski, I mean, he's first North London derby. He'll want to show up. We've got Romero that we didn't have last time. He'll be absolutely hungry. And believe me, some of your players will get a shock. The young lads will not want it. This guy, you come at him once, he's going to absolutely nail you the first chance he gets. And after that, he's just going to be relentless. I've seen big players, come up against Romero and not want it. Where was Mane last week when he was coming up against Romero? He just didn't want to go out there whatsoever. Nowhere near it. And that's the effect Romero is having. We didn't have Bentancur in the last North London derby. He'll be a huge asset in midfield in terms of being able to keep the ball and play through the lines. Højbjerg's been one of our best players over the last few weeks. Best player on the pitch when we lost to Brighton before that Brentford game. Best player on the pitch against Brentford. One of the best players on the pitch against Leicester. One of the best players on the pitch against Liverpool. So he's also in form. So I expect us to come into this really raring to go. Give the fans something to scream about. Plus, we need to win to put the pressure on E going into the last 2 games of the season and put us a point behind G for top 4. And we need to put the pressure on. But look, the reason why I believe we'll win it ultimately is because your squad, look, they were young and hungry and they turned up at home. But it's a different story walking into the Lions Den, going away from home. And for me, I'm going to go Tottenham 4-0.
4-0? Wow, I wasn't accepting that one. I can't lie to you.
Kulusevski, Kane, and Son. Do not underestimate the 3 of them.
Listen, when we're going off the form, obviously we beat Chelsea 4-2, we beat Man United 3-1, we beat West Ham 2-1, we beat Leeds 2-1. So, we are in good form. But at the same time, defensively, we have been shaky. We've been shaky in all the matches. The 3 matches we lost in a row, we were shaky. Even when we've been winning matches, we've still been shaky in defense. We're shaky against Chelsea. We're even shaky against Leeds. I mean, the goal that Leeds had, no one was marking him. And these are the things I pull out because I think on another day, we do get punished. On another day, Leeds crawl back. On another day, a better team will punish us, for not man marking, not defending properly. But at the same time, I have seen us the last time we faced you, we won 3-1 and we completely obliterated you in 45 minutes. So we do have the potential to outplay you. We do have the potential. This squad, this team does have the potential to hurt Tottenham. But will you guys exploit our defensive weaknesses? I don't know. I think with Conte, he plays a lot more on the counter-attack, and that may work for us or against us because we don't have a good midfield. I've always said it. The only midfielder that gets into any team in the top 6 for me at Arsenal is Thomas Partey. We don't have Cazorla. We don't have a good deep line playmaker. We don't have a world-class number 10, even though most super Arsenal fans think Odegaard's the best thing since sliced bread. He's hella average. So, I can see you guys hurting us. I think Kulusevski's been a good player. I rate Ramiro. I obviously rate Son and Kane. I do think you guys have players that can hurt us. Will you turn up? That is it. And it's always about who turns up. It's not about the form. It's about who turns up.
Do you know what, though, lad? That's not even a question under Antonio Conte. People ask that question against Man City. People ask that question against Liverpool on both games. And we turned up for them. We will turn up for this one. It's not even a question under Antonio Conte.
Listen, the comments, they're loving it. 4-0, David, I love it. You know what I'm saying? 4-0 with Tottenham's defense. Come on. 2-1, 3-1. Listen, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But listen, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Thank you so much, bro. Make sure people, you go like and subscribe to the Irish Hotspur. Make sure you go and subscribe to that channel. You know what I mean? Top guy. So easy to get into contact with you, bro. So yeah, man. Listen, thank you so much for coming on, bro.
No, look, thanks very much for having me. It was an absolute honor. I really enjoyed this actually as well. And look, we'll get you on to the Irish Hotspur tomorrow night for a good discussion ahead of the North London Derby as well. And look, you know, Arsenal fans, you treated me nice. I was very surprised, you know. Look, I'm actually one of them fans. You don't have to hold back. I enjoy the banter. I love the rivalry. I think that's what football is all about. So, you know, next time I'm on here, if I'm on here again, do not be afraid to give it to me in the comments. I absolutely love it. I'm telling you that. But no, look, thanks for having me. And everybody, you know, there's a couple of Spurs fans in here as well. Dark Son G, Catman, Jess, Joseph. Guys, make sure you smash the subscribe on this channel here. Look, he's a top guy. He's actually a very honest fan, Arsenal fan, which is hard to do, hard to find as well. So look, the Spurs guys, do smash the subscribe button here. I'm sure. Look, it's another Arsenal channel. We can come in and watch them when they're upset, when they lose. So that's another reason why you need to smash the subscribe button. But look, my man, genuinely, thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed this, and look, we'll definitely do some more stuff together, 100%. And everybody, get up to the Irish Hotspur and smash that subscribe button as well. I mean, look, get in the comments. I will banter you all stream long as well. I love it.
Yeah, man. Listen, people, man. This is what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? And we all like watching rival channels. Do you know what I mean? And now I found the Irish Hotspur. Yeah, I'll be watching his channel. I'll be watching his content. When I like someone's content, I watch them. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, of course, but we're going to laugh when they lose. And we're going to laugh if we beat them this Thursday. Do you know what I mean? The same way, you know, he's going to laugh at us. And that's what it's about, bro. For me, like I said, I can't talk crap in it. I've seen this club be great. I've seen this club win leagues. And that is what football's about, trophies. I've ordered all these from DHL, yeah, because that's the only
trophies. He has to order his own. We even Spurs fans haven't resorted to that yet.
Listen, my club is no longer run to win trophies, bro, and it is what it is. So it is what it is. Listen, thank you so much for coming on, people. Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you like and subscribe to the Irishman's channel. And listen. Every time I get Irish people on this channel, man, it's always flames, man. Irish people are a lot more level-headed, man. Big up the Irish.
We try to be. You know, look, we're good people over here in Ireland. But look, just with Arsenal, I just want to give some of them some nicknames to the Arsenal players before we leave. Give some of the Spurs fans a laugh. So Lacazette is Lack a Threat. Pepe is PP. They thought they were getting Pele. And Ketia is no goals on Ketia. You've got Granit Xhaka. He's a walking red card. Emil Smith can't rowboat. You've got the cheap cleaning product in Odegaard. You've got Saka shit. You've got Don Robbie's favorite dance move, Thomas Partey. You know, you've got Kieran Tiny. You've got Ben Shite. You know, you have a lot of players there that need to go.
Yeah, and they've all won more trophies than Harry Kane. We're out.